Hello and welcome to the big picture. It's time to go on strike again for the workers. Tomorrow, 10 central trade unions have declared a nationwide strike to protest against what they term as government's inaction on the 12-point charter of demands they had presented a year back. The strike, which is likely to paralyze normal life in many states, is expected to be joined by many sectors, including transport, banking, insurance, power, coal, textile, port and dock, automobile, steel, oil, defense production, education, and central and state government employees, according to the organizers. Incidentally, the biggest trade union, the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh, seen as close to the ruling BJP, is not joining the strike. Meanwhile, in a last-minute attempt to avert the strike, the government had day before yesterday announced that it was revising the basic minimum wages, one of the demands of the unions, apart from other announcements on the bonus and social security benefit front. However, the trade unions have rejected the offer and have decided to go ahead with the strike. We will discuss today what has made the trade unions to take to the streets again after doing so last year also. To discuss this, I have with me Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Amarjeet Kaur, National Secretary AITUC, Tapan Sen, General Secretary CITU, and also a Rajya Sabha member, Ashwani Rana, BMS leader, and Ashok Singh, National Vice President INTUC. Welcome to all of you. Sambit, can you hear me? I think we'll get to him there again. Tapan, what has made you people to go on strike again? The government has, last year also same time you went on the strike. It's been 1 year, and are you saying that none of the demands which you people had laid before the government have been met?
Actually, you have explained yourself why we are again going on strike. The thing is that on the issue 12-point demand on which the entire trade union movement, including BMS, who have been formulated jointly this demand, we have been pursuing this since last 5-6 years with the government without not taking any action. This new government also, after they came, we have round of discussions, but in the span of last 1 year, the group of ministers formed for the purpose of dealing on this 12-point charter of demand, that was their terms of reference, written terms of reference, they have not met, did not bother to meet the central trade unions, even despite the fact that in March, as back as March, this government was notified about the decision of this strike. And rather, the stooping down to so low in dealing with the trade unions, instead of calling the trade unions who have served the strike notice, they prefer to discuss on the same demands of the strike with the non-striking allies of them, the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. And the offer government that has been made just before on 30th through the press conference addressed by Arun Jaitley ji, even the offer being made and tried to project that they have considered a big thing for the minimum wage for the workers, that is also altogether bullshit. The minimum wage, marginal rise of minimum wage, whatever has been made, it was only made for the central sphere worker, and according to the statement made by the Labour Minister, only 70 lakh workers will be benefited by that, and 70 lakh means out of 40 crore workforce for whom we are demanding a statutory binding minimum wage benchmark. Compared to them, that does not come in any significant percentage at all.
Okay.
So, by considering some marginal increase vis-a-vis the demand of 18,000 by the entire trade union movement, including BMS, to consider this to be an historical achievement, some of my trade union friends are wording it like that. So, I think it is a foolishness, and trade unions prefer to not remain foolish, but go ahead with their justified strike, which is not only meeting the demand of the workers, but also upholding the basic interest of this national economy.
Okay,
so
we are now joined in by
against privatization. So
Tapan, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, Tapan. We're joined in now by Gopal Agrawal, a BJP spokesperson. Gopal Agrawal, last year also the trade unions went on strike. 1 year down the line, None of their demands they claim has been met. The group of ministers which had been set up last year to look into this charter of demands have not really met any of these trade unions except the BMS, which is considered to be close to your party. How do you explain this?
No, actually, if there were 12 issues that were the charter of demand, there were some of the issues which were relating to policy matters like FDI and other things, which are the long-term policy matters, and the government will look into it. That was a different issue. But specifically there were 2-3 demands which were specifically with regard to minimum wages. Government has already said that under the advisory board, a committee was set up, and it has accepted the increase in the minimum wages by about 43%. That 246 to it has agreed to increase it to 350 rupees per day, and it's almost a 43% increase. That was one of the major demand. And second important demand was with regard to payment of bonus. That also the government has accepted. And even with regard to many of the cases with the pending in the court, that also the government has said that we will take a lenient view on the cases and will help sort out those cases with regard to bonus. And on unorganized sector, that security for the unorganized sector people, the government has agreed to the demand where a meeting took place between the BMS and some of the unions and the government empowered committee.
Sorry to intervene, Agrawal. This is the question that only some of the trade unions are being talked to. The other 10 trade unions which are going to go on strike tomorrow, they are not being called for consultation or discussions by the government. This is the major complaint of the trade unions. And why is government doing this? Calling only one trade union and not discussing with others.
No, issue is the government was open to discussion with every stakeholders. The discussions were taking place at various levels and at various times. It is the last issue when if there is a confrontationist attitude, that is the issue. And ultimately, we have to see whether the government has agreed to their demands or not.
We have to see to that. Let me see.
You are saying unions and etc. are met.
Okay, you are saying that the demands have been accepted. Many of the demands have been accepted, but let us get their version on that. Before that, I would like to go to Mr. Ashwani Rana. Ashwani Rana, your union, the Bharatiya Mazdoor Sangh. In the initial phases, you were all united. All the unions were together. You were also union together with other unions. Why is it that now you have broken away from that?
See, first of all, I will clear that we have not broken any alliance, and it was a understanding among the trade unions on the certain issues. But we are not for the strike. Means every time we have made it just like a strike day, just like other Friendship Day, Labor Day, we have made it a strike day. Every year we have to go for strike. Secondly, you are mentioning that we are close to BJP. We are not a political...
That's okay. That has been your stand, but that popularly you seem to be close to BJP. That is the popular perception.
We are not a political trade union.
Fine.
Whereas INTUC, AITUC, CITU, they are the wing of their party. You have said that why we are not. See, whenever a trade union submit the charter, we have to go for a discussion, we have to go for a negotiation. Negotiation doesn't mean that we will get everything, whatever demanded. At least after so many years, this government has given something increase by way of minimum wages, by way of increasing bonus, double. It was 1,600, 2,500, 3,500, 7,000 they have made, and from the retro effect. It is not a... So at least they have come some. We are not that we will not fight. We have last year for the so many issues like FDI, like PF, we have made for agitation. We have went on agitation on all.
Has any of those issues been resolved?
Means they are on the agenda. They are on the discussion. Everything which if some issue is not resolved in 40 years, want that from tomorrow it should be resolved.
The feeling is that you have been pressurized to get out of this.
Nothing, no pressure is there. Nothing is there. We have made strikes. during our last NDA government, UPA government, it is not there. 4 agitation.
So now you're satisfied with whatever the government has given so far?
Not satisfied. Satisfaction means it is not 100%. We have got it. For rest of the things, we will go, we will discuss, we will fight.
And you think that strike is not the way to do
No,
it?
no, it is not. After strike also you have to go for negotiation, na? On 18, government called all central trade union for the discussion.
Okay, please continue.
In that meeting, it was not conclusion. It should be go on. Negotiation should be
Okay.
go on.
Amarjeet Kaurji, one of the points which Tapan also made is that you people have not been called for the for consultations and negotiations. He says the government has been calling all the unions.
The truth is that strike notice was given 5 months ago on 30th March. In this 5 months period, that group of minister, which has terms of reference to deal with this 12-point charter of demand, not a single meeting. Not a single meeting.
On these 12-point charter of
No single meeting. Only meeting called by Labour Minister was a few days ago, and when he was told, why are you calling us? Where is the group of ministers to deal with 12-point charter? He said, this is only preliminary discussion, group of ministers will meet you. So August 2015, group of ministers met us. We had a strike on 2nd September 2015. BMS withdrew 2 days ago. They were not part of strike last time also. 15 crore workers went on strike. This time also, if they are not part of strike, it doesn't matter. But with the very same demands, minus these 2 demands, the last demands, which we added after NDA coming to power, labor law amendments and FDI issue. On the very same demands, which included minimum wages, and it was 15,000 at that time at that price index, they went in strike with us for 2 days when it was UPA government. In government, the government has been more anti-workers, that they started labor law amendments excluding workforce from its protection. They have not controlled price rise. The employment situation is going down. Instead of not selling or disinvestment of public sector units which are profit giving, they are on sales spree of that. Instead of our demands, no FDI in railways, insurance and defense, they have added many sectors and they are making it 100%. The government has been walking in the opposite direction than our demand charter.
Okay.
And now I don't agree with their claim. For example, they said advisory board. BJP spokesperson said advisory board. Advisory board meeting was held on 29th. No conclusion was made. Government is telling a lie. Second thing which they said, bonus. Bonus thing was settled in the budget. They were only supposed to, after 1 month, give a notification for the government employees to be covered. So bonus had been settled. It has nothing to do now. But our demand was not met. We were asking for no ceiling on bonus or PF and increase the gratuity. Then you said inaction of government. It is not only inaction of government on our demands. There is proactive action making all labor laws pro-employers. And their claim of this 350 rupees, Nikamji, look at the truth.
350 rupees minimum wage which they have announced.
No, 350 rupees minimum wage to whom? Only those who are working in central government establishments. The contract worker over there, they are showing as if there are 47 crore unorganized sector workforce, as if they have done for that. They have not done for that. Ask him.
Mr. Rana,
it is done
do you agree
only
with
for
that?
central government employees.
Would you agree with that?
They should not tell lies.
The center sphere, but they have made it mandatory that other sectors also they will get. This is minimum. This is in CSET. I will differ.
Please correct yourself. It is not mandatory.
It is mandatory,
it is
madam.
advisory. No,
And
it will be mandatory if there will be amendment in minimum
I
wages
will ask
act. It
whether
can't be
Tripura
mandatory.
government, it is less among all the state. Only 142 is minimum wage in Tripura, where their government is there, and they are.
No,
It
that's
is
not the point.
made
The point here
mandatory.
is,
Please
But
correct
you
your
tell
facts.
me now in your
You
state,
correct your facts.
The government-
42
Minister,
minimum.
Minister
Sir, one second.
himself has made it
is
claim
not-
that it is for
not clear.
central government
It's
employees.
not clear from the government.
These
It's
contract
not
workers.
clear from the government's press release whether, to whom it says. Let me read this. The government has decided to fix the minimum wages at 350 rupees per day for unskilled non-agricultural workers for C category areas. C category areas,
Yeah.
keeping in view the modalities of fixing minimum wages.
And no,
It doesn't
and
say
then,
it doesn't say that it applies to all the.
Yes.
What is this C category area?
It means C category, A, B, C, there are three categories from where 30% HRA is there, A, B, C.
So it's for central government essentially.
only for central government
doesn't say about the-
contract
See,
labor.
It is
not for
mandatory
state
for that.
governments.
I want to ask Madam, Tripura 142 rupees minimum wage. What about they have to say
Okay,
about
hang,
that?
Are you
hang
going
them,
to-
hang them. I am
Who will
saying,
hang you?
I am,
It
no,
is your
no.
government. Who will hang them?
Okay, I mean,
Nikam
you have a
it will
point, but you know
become
there's a
mandatory,
larger
it will
issue is
become
what
mandatory.
what has been
Change
done.
in
See,
minimum
whatever
wages.
Okay,
government is
Amarjeet,
there,
They are not
let me
ready to do
get
that.
no, let me get Mr. Ashok Singh
Your
on
own
this.
General
Mr.
Secretary
Ashok Singh,
yesterday told.
the one of the points being made by the BJP spokesperson, the government says that you people are adopting a confrontationist attitude. You are not adopting a, a approach where things can be settled. Instead of that, you're involving in indulging in confrontation.
No, there is no question of confrontation actually. We have waited long. This high power, this committee, I think long back, 1 year back, met under the chairperson of the Mr. Finance Minister, Mr. Jaitley, not have a single meeting in last 1 year. We have submitted a memorandum. What is used to have a meeting, committee. If you're not talking, you're not calling us. Only they call
They're
last
saying
week.
that they're
only
not calling because
minute,
you're
sir.
adopting
No, no.
confrontationist attitude.
Huh?
They're saying they're not calling because you're adopting confrontationist
Well,
attitude.
when there's not talking, where's the question of confrontation? They're not meeting, where's the question of confrontation? When we'll meet, then confrontation will start. Na? If they don't agree with us, not talking, not calling, then where is the confrontation? There's only way to go on strike, number one. We have submitted 12 points charter. He is talking the INTUC and these are the political links. In the UP government, we went 2 times strike. They were there at that time. INTUC, led by Dr. G. Reddy, all detention centers together. We think together, we sit together, we decide the memorandum, we decide the agenda, and we went to strike. And the Prime Minister, the then Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, in the Indian Labour Conference, appreciated this strike. It is a strike in the interest of the nation and the worker in the industry also. Can they have courage to come and say, yes, your strike is, you are on the right path? No. Because they are certainly मजबूरी में अलग हुए हैं, संतुष्ट हैं, इनकी मजबूरी है, हमारी मजबूरी नहीं है. Because the trade union centers, any centers, maybe INTUC, maybe CITU, maybe AITUC, maybe HMS, all the trade union centers made to take care of the interest of the working class, to take care of the respect of the working class, to give him recognition and regard of the working class in the society, not sit ideal.
Okay. Gopal Krishna Agrawal, how is the government going to respond to this? Tomorrow there's going to be a strike. It has taken as some of my panelists are saying so long for the government, for the group of ministers. They are yet to call these people and get into a dialogue on the 12-point charter of demands. Is the strike going to make them call all the trade unions, of course, apart from the BMS also?
No. Actually, the government has already received the 12-point charter of demands, and government
received
has
long
worked
time
on
back.
on those
Not
demands,
recently.
and major of the demands which are in the interest of the workers have been accepted. Ultimately, everybody
But
has
they're
a right
not-
in the democracy.
One
to
second, Mr. Agrawal.
Yeah.
Mr. Agrawal, as far as the minimum wage, which was announced day before yesterday of 350 rupees, they have rejected it outrightly. They have said that it doesn't come anywhere near their demand, which was 18,000 rupees per month minimum wages. You have offered them 9,100 rupees, which they say is not enough, and they're not going to accept it.
No, so that every stakeholder has a right for their demand, but government has to act in a neutral way. It cannot accept all the demands. If there are some...
No, you've not accepted all the demands. They are talking of only one demand they're talking about.
To it. But then government will have to work in the larger interest of everybody.
They don't think about the
other
workers, sir.
stakeholders, although economy also requires, the resources are also there. Then if employment generation has also to be taken place, if the government fixes such a minimum wage which is not acceptable to the industry or which is possible, feasible in a current scenario, we have to move towards that.
So are you saying,
there are some demands by
no,
these
one
unions.
second, Mr. Agrawal, are you saying that some of these demands are not going to be in the larger interest of the nation, in the larger interest of the
No,
business,
I'm not
and
saying
so the
in
government
larger
is not
interest.
going to take note of these demands? Is
No,
that
I'm
the
not
stand?
saying in the larger interest of the nation. These demands are the demands of the stakeholder, but the government will have to take into consideration the overall
How long
other
time they will take?
stakeholders' conditions and situation in the country. Minimum
Okay,
Sir,
okay,
how-
okay,
how-
let me get...
demand, etc. Government is moving towards that process. We are not saying that this is the last time that any negotiation will take place.
Okay.
There are some issues, unresolved issues with their demand. The government will consider them also,
Okay,
discuss
Mr.
with them also.
Sorry.
But
No, okay, Mr. Agrawal, let me get others in on this. Yes, I want to go. I have to go to Tapan Sen before that very quickly.
Yeah,
Amarjeet.
what I want to say is that our demand is 692 rupees per day. So it is almost half they are suggesting. But that demand which we have raised is for 47 crore workers. But what they are giving 350 is only to minuscule of central government employees under central government establishments, the unorganized sector workers. So they are trying to camouflage as if they have given it to all workers. It will become mandatory only if minimum wages act is amended. But they are sending advisory which governments can very well refuse.
Okay.
So, and then 7th Pay Commission already agreed for 18,000. When they were approached, they agreed for 21,000, but government has notified for 18,000. And that again, if 21,000 is accepted and government employees are asking 26,000, this is all for category. You see, semi-skilled
Okay.
which comes to unskilled will come to 18,000.
Okay,
so
Tapan.
there is big gap. Even in
Tapan.
the government's own calculations, there is a
Right.
big gap.
Tapan, apart from the issues of minimum wages and bonus, there are larger issues involved.
Girish, one thing I like to make clear.
I have a
factual.
question. No, one
One
second,
thing-
Tapan.
one thing I like to
Let
make-
me finish my question. You can answer. You know, apart from the minimum wages and bonus and things like that, there are also the larger issues which the Charter of Demands raises about FDI and things like that. Don't you think that these larger issues require time, require more patience and tolerance? In that you people also need to give the government some time to work out these things.
One thing, Mr. Girish, all these issues we have been raising since 1991 against privatization, against FDI, and because we have been continuously raising, something in the country is still saved. 90% of the public sector are in place because we have been continuously raising this issue through continuous, consistent action, including strike action. And this is the 17th strike that is going to take place against these policies. So, time is required, at the same time action is required to save whatever we still have with us in this nation, where the nation is going to be put on mortgage, put on auction in the name of so-called good days and growth. Number one. Second point, in the previous discussion, I want to make one fact clear. I think probably our friends from BJP and your BMS are not properly informed. I am quoting Labour Minister Bandaru Dattatreya ji from the release he has made yesterday night 9 p.m. and sent to all the press, including us. It says 70 lakh workers will be benefited by the rise of these minimum wages. It is his claim, not Tapan Sen's claim. The workers in the central sphere, it is numbered at 70 lakh. So it is not merely rejecting the government proposal, not merely on the quantum, but also in terms of its coverage.
Right.
Our demand, all of us, including BMS, is for the entire working people of the country. They need a statutory binding coverage of minimum wage benchmark. And we have arrived at a figure by consensus calculation at 18,000. On 29th August, in the Minimum Wage Advisory Committee, the BMS representative spoke about 15 minutes to justify 18,000. Within 10 hours, their opinion changed, and this 350 rupees offer has become an historic achievement.
Okay.
Hypocrisy must have a limit.
Okay,
And
let
everything
me
is
get.
being crossed.
Okay,
Only
Tapan, let
in
me
order
get
to
that.
sabotage the strike action.
No, open.
But
let me.
unfortunately,
let
it is
me
not
get-
going to be sabotaged.
Let me get them. Yes, Ashwani, Rana. It's a serious charge which they are making.
See-
In 24 hours, you made a.
Nothing happened. Tapan Sanji has admitted that it is a 17 strike. Out of 16 strike, what we have achieved? Nothing. At least something has come. We are not telling that.
So are you saying that it's the first time
And,
that the government is
Out of
giving
17
something
strikes, the public
to the
sectors are
tra-
still
to the-
in
to the
line.
workers?
Many things we achieved.
Are still alive.
Many
They-
things we
they have
achieved
made
and
a
we went
committee.
ahead.
So 16
For
strikes have been
unorganized sector.
useless.
See,
The public
he is
sectors are
admitted
still
now.
alive
It is
because
a
of
17
that.
strike.
I am asking you.
Yes,
Tapan, one
nothing-
minute. Tapan, one minute, please.
Nothing has come.
You are are you
What
saying
happened?
that?
Don't say
In
nothing
16
has
No,
come.
one second.
You
We
reply to
achieved
my
many
comment
things.
that you are lying.
Earlier also.
As
You are
Tapan
making
said,
a
you are
lie,
achieved?
speaking a lie. You reply to that
This,
question.
Okay,
this
Tapan,
no,
okay,
no,
okay,
no,
Tapan.
no,
Yes,
no,
reply to that
last,
question.
4 strikes, this is the same charter of demand, 10 charter.
You reply to that
10
question.
No.
No,
This
no, one
charter
second,
is
Tapan.
7-year-old.
If you keep on talking, he can't hear what the question of yours is. Yeah. No, you have to respond to that. That
See,
you had
BMS
had you
was
agreed
there.
had you agreed for 18,000 rupees as minimum wages as the
No,
BML
nothing,
agreed,
nothing.
and now you did not
It is
agree.
our demand. It is our demand. Whatever we will demand,
does it continue to be
management
our
or government
demand?
will not say, no, we have to negotiate.
No, does it continue to be our demand or not?
It will be demand.
But you are happy with the 9,100
At least
rupees?
something has given.
Something
na?
has been given. Okay. Yes. Amarjeet.
No, what I want to say, they are saying we have not broken. I agree they have not broken because they stand with this 12-point charter of demand. They want to say that they stand with this charter of demand, but they are not trying to realize that the demand is for 47 crore of workers and it is only 70
Well,
lakh
let
workers.
us not.
And second thing,
it is
which
not
I
just
think
BMS
is
versus
important.
others. There's a larger
Now,
issues
one
involved
thing,
here.
Nikamji, is very important. When we are saying larger, you said should we not have patience on this FDI issue? When everything is finished, what patience? We have to fight for it. And what the
Okay.
treatment has been given to our scheme
Okay.
workers. It's a
Ashok-
rollback also, Nikamji. Scheme workers, Anganwadi, Asha
Okay,
worker,
Ashok
midday
Singh.
meal workers. They are going back.
No,
They
okay.
promised to be worker status.
No, I
and
think
now
you have
they are
made a
going
point,
back.
Amarjeet ji. Let me get Ashok Singh very quickly, sir. Last words. You know these kind of strikes. What kind of an impact do you expect it to have?
Sir, last year, Prime Minister called us as a delegate of the Indian Labour Conference at his residence and very categorically assured us that so far the labour reform is concerned, we will not amend or reform any labour law without talking to you people.
Okay.
But they get into it
Okay.
without taking us into confidence.
Okay.
And the labour law meant for the whom? For the workers. But it is not for the workers. It's not for the human capital.
So you are
It is
saying
for
that
the capital only.
Okay, you're saying that you're being forced to go on strike because of the attitude of the government. Anyway, these are issues which will require more discussion. We'll wait and watch tomorrow how the strike will go on, and what will be the response of the government to it. There's several issues still yet to be resolved, as we have clearly seen from this discussion. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with Andhra Vision, the big picture, same time tomorrow.